thing that surprised me, I'd say like surprised me most of all, is that we got an announcement of a new Dragon Age game, and it's actually not the Dragon Age game that I thought they were working on. It's a completely different Dragon Age game. So how long do you think it's going to be before they try and give Game Pass another price increase?
I don't know. 6 months?
I think it's definitely going to be sometime this year, like maybe with, COD dropping.
When is that dropping with the new game?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably be like November. What is the next Call of Duty like? In November, like it usually is.
That's in October, actually.
Yeah, well, around there. Either way, it'll probably be around there.
You think it's gonna go up to like $18-20?
I don't know. For it's being like the revealing time or whatever, where it's the beginning of summer. It's like there were some interesting ones, and then there was a lot of shit I just didn't care about.
Yeah,
It looks fine. I just don't care about it. Oh yeah, I forgot. It was like the Among Us animated series. Whoa.
How is Among Us gonna get an animated series?
That's what
How's
they're
that
doing.
even gonna work?
Well, it's like what was it? Like the people who made Among Us or whatever announced like a new slate of games or something like that, along with like Blumhouse is now has their own like like the gaming studio now, where they're just making like 10 different games basically.
Oh, okay.
Of all different types of all horror, but all different types of horror games. And I go, okay, why?
Fair enough.
Sure.
I mean, I guess.
So when
Or is
Markiplier plays them on 3 scary games or whatever, that they can go,
Right,
hey, look,
basically.
Markiplier played our game, woo!
I mean, the horror genre, especially for gaming, is a whole amalgamation of mostly shit until you run into like the one or two actually
Yeah.
okay games.
Yeah, until you get to like those like 1 or 2 really good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, speaking about good games, what about the Lego Adventures with Horizon? Woo!
I think it's really funny that PlayStation was like, yeah, you can release this game on absolutely everything except for the Xbox. Like, it's even coming out on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
I get it, but I just think it's funny.
it is. I just like how it's like, oh yeah, a new Horizon game. It's Lego Horizon. What?
Sure. Why not?
You got that and the Harry Potter Quidditch game that looks like it's made in Fortnite basically, and then
Harry Potter Quidditch game?
did you not see that? That was during the Summer Games Fest or whatever.
I didn't watch the Summer Games Fest.
It wasn't great or whatever, but it's like it's a Harry Potter Quidditch game that looks like it's made in Fortnite. It looks like shit and everything like that. And it's like, I know the art style they're going for is like Fortnite-y, but like
Oh yeah, that's just Fortnite.
absolutely.
Oh,
And it's
why
just
does
like
it look like that?
and it's like, dude, did you ever play like the Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup for like the PS2 or something like that?
Yeah.
That game looks better than this.
I'm not sure I'd go that far, but
It looks better than this, though. In my mind, it looks better than this.
okay.
I don't know. It's like it'll probably be more fleshed out and everything like that. And I just go, that's fucking stupid.
The game is gonna have character skins, teams, arenas, and more. Oh, so it's gonna have a battle pass.
Oh, absolutely.
They're absolutely giving this shit a battle pass.
Oh, say, was that even in question?
No, but I hate that so much.
Exactly.
I don't think there's going to be nearly enough content to justify a game but a battle pass or whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what's weird? It's like Quidditch. There's only going to be the one game mode. It's like, how much can you reasonably get out of that?
Everything.
How much do you think they're gonna try charging for this bullshit? Or is it gonna be free to play? Do you think?
No, it won't be free to play. There's no way.
Okay.
If it was like multiplayer, then I would say it's free to play. But I don't think it's gonna be multiplayer. I think it's just gonna be like it'll probably be like $60.
Okay. Wait. It says it's only 30 on here,
Well, thank God for that.
which is not bad, I guess, but it's also not great.
It's not. particularly.
Hey, it's going to be it. It's gonna have no microtransactions. Fuck off. That is a lie. That is a lie. Game
There's
Rant.
no
They
way.
are scamming you. Okay, they may not have like microtransactions for like the first month or whatever. There is absolutely no way this game is not gonna have microtrans. I am calling bullshit immediately.
Is this not being made by?
It's being made. It's well, in other cases, being published by WB. They said they wanted to create more like live service shit. This is live service shit. It's going to have a competitive multiplayer experience. They're going to add a battle pass. There's going to be microtransactions.
Oh yeah, it's WB. Yeah, yeah. There's no fucking way. I'm gonna call you on your bullshit over there, WB. I know what you're up to.
Oh yeah.
We all know.
So what else came out in the Summer Games Fest?
I mean,
That
isn't that
looks
where they?
okay.
That's where they announced the Alan Wake 2 Night Springs DLC.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Like the morning that they put the new like collector's edition on sale, I bought it
Hell yeah.
specifically to circumvent all the scalpers that I knew were gonna jump on it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what's driving me crazy about this Quidditch trailer that I'm watching right now?
Yeah.
These are the exact same models that they used in the Harry Potter Connect game.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not saying they look similar. They're the exact same.
Yeah.
So these are like Xbox 360 graphics.
That's what I'm
sort
saying.
of.
It's like it looks like Fortnite, and they're trying to use just like this more cartoony style, as in just like, oh, let's just reuse assets rather than making a whole new game.
Mm-hmm.
You could make it look so good if you really wanted to. It's like instead they went for more of a cartoony style.
I mean, yeah, they're trying to, like you said, attract Fortnite kids. They already have the models from fucking what was it, Hogwarts Legacy. They could have just used those.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy.
Yep. Yeah. It's
I
like-
don't know, man.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just like the only highlights out of like the Summer Games Fest that I thought was cooler was the Alan Wake 2 stuff, and then I mean that was pretty much it. Like honestly, like everything else, like the Blumhouse game stuff, I wasn't like sold on. Like they had like trailers,
show
they had like small
anything?
trailers for like 10 different games they're making.
What the fuck? How big is their team?
That's what I said. I'm like, there's no way it's that big. It's like, this is Blumhouse. They're known for making really big movies for like low budgets or whatever, and they're basically trying to do the same thing with games. And I go, what they're going to find is that making games is probably going to be more of a hassle than they realize. But hey,
Maybe not indie horror. You can crap out a lot of shit in that genre.
Yeah, it's
Like
yeah,
the fucking Garden of Bonbon series. Like, are you kidding me?
yeah. It's like
They
that.
release 10 games a year. They're all trash, and they all lay them out in ways where it's impossible for you to refund them instead of just making like a good game.
yeah.
Crazy, dude.
It's wild. It's like rather than spending your time making these just like crap like little things that that people spend like maybe a half hour on. It's like maybe you could just like bring your whole team together and make like a actually good horror game or whatever. It's like when was like the last like really good like indie horror game really came out that was like
I
That
mean,
was,
they
like,
come
really
out
big.
all the time. Honestly.
I know, but like what I mean by that is like one that could like that people would like recognize like all of like the one I'm thinking is like similar to like an Outlast or whatever like stuff like that. It's like I feel like that's been a while since that's been a thing. Like you have little ones here or there, but like
I mean, if we're talking like big budget horror, then yeah, it's been a while. In terms of indie horror,
yeah, I guess I phrased that wrong, but it's like I'm not talking like just like little indie games or whatever, but I was just like but like ones that are like big like experiences of games that are like in the horror genre.
I guess it has been a bit of a little while. I'd say the last one kind of would be Alan Wake 2 last year.
Yeah, that was probably the closest one. But before that, I can't think of the last one that was done like that. I don't know. guess the Resident Evil games, but like,
You know what this is making me think of, honestly? Are we sure that these developers were, like brought together, like formed by Blumhouse, or are they just a production studio?
I don't
These
know.
games?
I honestly have no idea.
Because I recognize some of these like art styles from like different.
Maybe
indie
they're
game
just
artists.
publishing them, but like, I don't know. From what it sounded like, it was like that games that they were working on or whatever.
Okay, so if they're just like a publishing studio, I'm actually all for that, because there are a lot of like really good indie horror devs that just don't get the attention that they deserve.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like a whole like video game development thing that they're putting together, then I'd say that's a little, bizarre for a film studio to do. But
Definitely different.
yeah. I'm not going to complain about more like new games being on the market, though. It's a growing industry.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Other than that, oh man, Valorant's coming to consoles. Woo! No,
No one's going to play Valorant on console.
everyone's
The
gonna play
fuck
Valorant
do
on
you-
console. What are you talking about?
The fuck do you mean they're bringing that to console? They're bringing that shitty game to console?
Yep. So that way the console gamers can also rage at everyone else in Valorant and not get punished for it.
It's a fucking Counter-Strike clone. How are you
Uh-huh.
going to play that on a controller?
With heavy aim assist. And then everyone will complain that it has heavy aim assist. Probably. I mean, unless
I
they're...
hate Riot so much, dude.
I don't know.
I
Who cares, right? Nobody gives a
Yeah.
shit. Nobody cares. But you know what everyone's going to care about? Everyone's favorite game that is Pokemon with guns, because it's going to have new Pokemons in it.
Is there a new Pal World update?
Yup.
Okay.
The new island with new pals, and they showed off just a few of them, and boy, me and my brother went, wow, these are really just recolored Pokemon again, because some of them are egregious.
I mean, yeah.
They
but
were, I know, but I know, and the whole thing is that was the thing, but it's like, they can say all they want about how they're just not Pokemon, but they absolutely are. Some of them are more unique than others, but for the most part, it's a lot that look like Pokemon.
I understand, but at the exact same time, we got to keep in mind that we've been saying for years and years and years now that Pokemon has had a monopoly on its genre, on its market. It really doesn't have any stiff
I'm
competition. like that.
okay with that. I'm okay with others getting into that, but you can't tell me that they didn't. That when they say that they didn't design it off
Well, obviously
Pokemon, that's bullshit.
Well, I get that. It's obvious. You don't really just have to look at see that they're knockoffs of Pokemon. At the exact same time, it's like I feel like it's Simpsons did it. Kind of syndrome that we're looking at here. It's like they've made like almost 3,000 different Pokemon now. Obviously, like there are going to be some similarities. It's like they can only be so different when you're going for that kind of like general Pokemon art style. I
Agree to disagree.
Okay. I am hesitant to call Pal World a ripoff. I understand.
I'm not saying it's a ripoff, but
Okay.
you cannot tell me that they didn't base it off of that and then just
They
going,
did.
We're
They
okay.
absolutely
And then they're
did.
okay with that, and then it's just like that's fine to anyone that wants to play that game
mean
or
it.
whatever. Go for it. I don't give a shit, and I will continue to give it shit every day of its life and existence. But
Okay. So, if they were to make like a Pokemon like competitor, what would you recommend that they do then? Just making them look different? It's like, how do you do that? It's like if you just look up like squirrel Pokemon, there's like close to 40.
I don't know.
Really
I'm
can't
just-
do
I guess
a whole
I'm-
lot without.
I guess I'm just like beyond the idea of like, oh, let's just collect these things in the world or whatever, and then enslave them basically to do our bidding. Whatever.
Okay.
Moving on.
You see the Killer Bean game that's coming out?
Yeah. I saw that and I was like, what the fuck is this?
I mean, it looks super shitty, which is very fitting for Killer Bean.
Exactly. That's why I feel like they went into this and just knew what it wanted to be and just went all for it. And you know what? I appreciate the just absurdity that it is, and just like how serious but not serious the game takes itself.
If you assholes try charging $1 over like $10 for this absolute garbage.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I said too.
You look at the game, it does not look good. It looks like
ass.
bad video game. If they try charging $70 for this shit,
that will be a time if they do.
So that was Summer Games Fest, huh?
Pretty much. Like there wasn't a whole lot. Like they have Monster Hunter Wilds or whatever, but they're Monster Hunter games, man. What do you want? And then on top of the like 6 other Souls-like games that also came out around that with like was that Phantom Blade Zero or whatever it was, and then like see, get used to me saying that too, because there was like 16 like different Souls-like games that were all coming out at the same time, or at least shown off. I don't know. It just felt like to me it was just like every other like game felt like it was trying to copy Souls-like games or whatever. I don't know what else. We had the Microsoft showcase, I guess.
Yeah, you mean the Xbox showcase?
What did I just say? Microsoft?
You said the Microsoft showcase.
Whatever, close enough.
I mean, they did not do enough for me to fully be on board with Xbox again. I should say that. I thought it was an amazing show. At the exact same time, I'm still very much miffed about the closure of Arcane Austin and Tango Gameworks.
Well, I just like how like, what was it that they said that they wanted to make like big games, but also have like really quality indie games at the same time. And then you cut in big indie game like with Hi-Fi Rush and everything like that in a studio that really did no wrong.
I agree that it was bullshit that they closed Tango. I wouldn't have called that team indie by any means. There was
but
almost
like
100 people there.
But like what I'm saying is that Hi-Fi Rush kind of just came out of nowhere, and that's the kind of games they wanted to. Not so much indie, but just like smaller type games like that.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just like, oh, then they just didn't really have that. But I was like, I don't know. It's like between. I'm kind of with you there too. It's like, yeah, there was some kind of interesting stuff. Like we got to see some Avowed or whatever. The new Doom game looked interesting, I guess, because it's going for more medieval style. Like it felt like almost like a Gears of War esque.
The stuff that really caught me off guard is I did not think that we were going to get gameplay for South of Midnight this early.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Which that was a nice surprise. Where apparently State of Decay 3 does have a release date. It took way too long, but at least it's coming out now. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I did not think in any capacity that we were going to see fucking... What was it? I just had it on here. Oh, right. Oh yeah, Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
I thought that was like deep in development hell, so the fact that we got gameplay for that...
Or the Dragon Age game that you weren't expecting.
Aren't they making a different Dragon Age game, or am I just going crazy?
Well, didn't I see a couple?
Or was it always called
the
Failguard?
Wasn't it like a couple days ago or whatever? They talked about how they were going to rebrand the Dragon Age game and not call it Dragon Age.
I guess. I don't know.
But who knows at this point?
BioWare sucks.
It's true.
I swear, I promise it was not always called the Veilguard. It was something else.
I mean, probably.
Okay, so they say apparently this isn't open world anymore. It's mission based, which... What does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
I don't know, man. It's gonna be garbage. Anyway, we got more stuff for Fable, which was pretty cool. I really did enjoy basically everything that they showed at the Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
I will give Xbox a lot of credit. I haven't really played Diablo 4 much anyway. Did
I mean,
that
all
make you
all it was
interested
a
at all?
cinematic. They talked about how there's going to be a new class and like new story elements or whatever. Then showed a cinematic trailer that told us absolutely nothing. So, cool. Didn't even tell us what the new class was.
No, they did not. I noticed that too.
There's gonna be a new class. What is it? I don't know yet. What do you mean you don't know yet?
I'm actually really excited for the new Gears of War game. That shit looks fire. But wait, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was like, the Gears of War game looks kind of interesting because even though I've never played any of the Gears of War but I also was actually really looking at that Expedition 33 game that they showed off.
That looks fucking cool.
Yeah, that one looked pretty interesting. I'll be honest with
Yeah.
you. As a fan of turn-based combat, I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. What was that other one that I was looking at? We got. Oh yeah, there's this game called Mixtape. We know absolutely nothing about it so far. But
Oh yeah,
it
this
is,
game, yeah.
it is an indie studio, and it's
Yeah.
a studio that I actually really like. The last game was what was it called? It was remember The Artful Escape?
Yes.
Same studio. So I'm interested to see what that is. In any case, what are your thoughts on Fable so far? No straight gameplay still, but stuff that looks like gameplay at
I
least.
don't really care, in all honesty. I've never really
Okay.
played any of the Fable games, so I'm just not interested. I don't know. I look at it and I think too much of like Witcher 3, and I was just kind of put off by Witcher 3 for, I don't know, just being too open worldy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my whole thing. Is like I don't mind open world games, but when they're just like, hey, the world is your oyster, go do anything, I go,
Yeah.
you're not gonna put me in some sort of direction to go forward. It's kind of like that with Skyrim too. It's like I realize Skyrim's a good game, but it's like when the whole world that you can just go anywhere and just do anything, it's like it doesn't sit right with me. It's like give me some sort of direction at least.
What do you think of Indiana Jones?
It was Indiana Jones.
Yep, it is.
That's pretty much what I was gonna say. That it was like it's Indiana Jones. All right.
Obviously, people freaked out when Doom was shown off
Yeah.
like that.
I will say, it's like I know you weren't going to get Harrison Ford, play Indiana Jones, even just to voice act him or whatever. So I guess getting Troy Baker was a good substitute there.
Is it Troy Baker?
Oh yeah, it's Troy Baker.
Okay. I mean, at least they got what's his name? Harrison Ford's likeness for the game, right?
They did, yes. It does look like him.
Yeah.
I guess it at least it encapsulates like the essence of like what it would be like watching like a 90s Indiana Jones film or whatever, just from the trailer alone. And I think that's really all it needs to capture.
Yeah, I'm all about that, honestly. I think I do think it was a great showcase, but Microsoft, usually has a great showcase.
You need to follow through with these though.
These games just need to come out now. Now, according to Microsoft, all of these games are coming out by next year, maybe with the exception of Gears of War. So, we'll see, I guess. I didn't expect them to announce a Game Pass price increase.
I mean, they're not going to do that now, but like...
No, I am expecting that to happen, though.
Oh, probably. They'll try and shadow drop it in a way. Kind of like what whenever Spotify ups their rates or whatever, they try and do.
it's weird though because isn't it already this year that they raised the price from 15 to $17?
Well, probably. I mean, how many times in like the past year has like Netflix rose its price? Wasn't it like 2 or 3 times?
I know, but
Within like 12 months, they upped it. They upped it twice.
Microsoft is going to have to find that median because if they try and go up to like 20, $25,
I mean, I think at some point they're gonna need to do like something to like what like PlayStation has, where it's like where you can have like a cheaper like Game Pass or whatever, where you'll have access to the games, but you won't have day one releases or whatever, and you'll have to wait like a month or something like that, and then it'll be added to the other Game Pass or whatever. And some people won't mind doing that, but and then you have to say to yourself is like, would that be worth it? Would people pay the extra, or would they just wait? That type of thing, or like, I don't know. I'm sure there's a bunch of marketing jargon that goes in with it, but it's like to me, I look at it just like if you want to keep the Game Pass, if you want to keep people paying for the Game Pass, but also keep it profitable, you need to keep it incentivized for some reason, and whether that means offer like a more higher priced version of it. I mean, isn't that the whole point of like with Hulu and like Disney Plus things or whatever? It's like, oh, you can do like this cheaper version of our streaming service, but you have to watch ads, or you can pay for the more expensive one and skip the ads. It's that whole thing. I'm not saying they're going to put ads in the Game Pass or whatever in the games you're playing. No, they won't do that. But what they will probably do is that it'll be it'll limit they'll limit how many games that you can play, or limit the pool.
I don't think they're going to limit the games that you play. I agree with your earlier assessment. I do anticipate a system where, you'll have the games, but it won't be day one releases. You'll maybe get them like a couple of weeks or like a month earlier.
Or you can pay for like a more expensive version of the Game Pass and get it day one.
Yeah.
Which for some people that would be worth it, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are interested, but the thing is like as well is like you have to have enough, games coming out that people would want to incentivize doing that.
Yeah, they gotta. They also what I was trying to get at earlier is that they have to lock in at a price that most people would be comfortable paying, because it's like if you try, charging people like $35 a month, like. Even some people who have like their whole game libraries on Game Pass, at that point they might just be like, forget it, that's insane, paying that much every single month for Game Pass
for a majority of like games that they probably don't play or whatever, and they just play like a set few. It's like, I'll just buy those set few games and then just say screw the Game Pass.
So they gotta, I'm sure they have very good market analysts that are working right now to figure out like what people are willing to pay.
Yeah, I
and
agree.
Just working on that. Like, how much are the Hulu subscriptions? Just out of curiosity.
I know it's like, isn't it like, I think it's like $7 to have access, but then you gotta watch ads, and I think it's like 15 or something like that if you wanted a month if you want to skip the ads.
Yeah,
I know that's what it is for like Disney Plus, because me and my brother just resubscribed to Disney Plus to watch Acolyte, even though the third episode was not good. It was so not good that I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, so that's live TV.
Yeah, there's also like a live TV version and stuff. So
Hulu with ads is $8 a month, and then Hulu with no ads is 18.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yep, that's a lot.
So here's my personal prediction in terms of like what to expect. I think in November they're gonna try bringing the price up to $20 a month from the 17 or 18 it is now. Maybe it's a bit cheaper if you just want it on PC or console, but that's what I'm expecting for Ultimate. And eventually, and I'm thinking like within the next year or two, They might try doing a thing where if you want the day one releases, like you said, a month or 2 months early or whatever, it goes up to 25. But if you want to just wait, you can just pay the standard 20 again. That's what I'm thinking they do. I think that's like the max I think people would be willing to pay for Game Pass. I think you're gonna start tapering off if you try charging more than that. That's just me though. So game announcements this year just feel kind of dry.
I don't know. I feel like that's just how it's kind of been for the past couple of years. It's just like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were always like that. Maybe it's just like nostalgia glasses because it was just like. But it's just like I don't know. Maybe we're just too old and we remember the early E3 days or whatever, where we went into E3 basically not knowing anything of what was going to be released or shown off or anything like that, and like, everything was just like, whoa, that type of thing. But I still remember just like a lot of games, like they would always release like the big games or whatever that a lot of people were like really interested in,
mm-hmm.
or anything like that. And it's just like, and like maybe it's, I always look at it like this. It's like everyone kind of goes into, especially like around this time, it's like, oh, I want to see more from such and such games or whatever, and then they aren't there or whatever, and then they go, oh man, this fucking sucks because I thought it was going to be like everything I wanted or whatever, and it just wasn't. And I'm just like, well, that's unfortunate.
I mean, a lot of the games that we saw stuff from this year are games that we've known about for years now, basically.
And that was my like next thing I was getting to or whatever. It's just like, it's also like we're seeing the same games over and over for years or whatever. It's not like not a lot of new stuff when it comes to it or whatever. And it's like, and it also doesn't help when like I don't know what it is with Jeff and how he runs these like things or whatever, but it's like he always does this where he talks about like, he's like, oh, here's what games we're going to show off, and has like this little like trailer or whatever during like the Summer Games Fest. And I go, okay, well, if those are like almost all the games basically, why do I want to even watch the thing or whatever? It's like, it's nothing I really care about.
He phrases it like it's a news broadcast. It's like more at 11,
Yeah. And I go, but the whole point of like these releases is that we're not sure what's going to be next. Like that's the whole part of this. Like that's what fuels it or whatever. And it's just like, I don't understand why they do this. And it's like, even during the show or whatever, and it's like, and now another game from such and such studio, makers of X game that's really liked and everything like that. And then it's blah blah. And I'm just like, cool, thanks for telling me what it was before I even fucking looked at it. Great. Especially why I can't watch these anymore. It's really hard for, especially if it's something I know. And like, I watched the Summer Games Fest. I just got mad every time they said something about it or whatever. It's like they had like a little like showcase for like the ReFantazio game by Atlas or whatever. It looks good. I want to see more from it before if I decide I want to get it. It looks interesting though.
Yeah.
And everything like that. And I mean, like, and then like the games that I wasn't expecting, like the Expedition 33 or whatever, that one looked really interesting. I had no idea what that was, and I thought that was really cool. So I don't know. I also think it's just because there are so many different games come out every year now, that everyone kind of just like fits into a niche. Like these types of games are what I like, and even if these other ones look interesting or look cool, I just don't really care about them type thing. And oftentimes because I don't care about them, I just look at it and go, man, next.
Okay.
That's how I look at it. That could be a good or bad thing.
Yeah.
In reality, I mean that's the whole point. It's like you have to steal our interest or whatever. It's like make it so interesting that I won't want to look away, or maybe I would want to try that or whatever. So I don't know. I do agree with you though. It's like when you're seeing the same things over and over, though, it doesn't help though.
I mean, yeah, it's like one of the games I was most excited to see are like we're like fucking Avowed and Fable, and it's like
Yeah, and how many times have we seen that now?
I've known those games have been coming out for like the past 3 years. We have so many trailers on Fable now. We know exactly how the game's going to look. We have some idea on how the game's going to play, I guess. I get like maybe just either show straight gameplay or at least give us a release date.
Yeah.
Like, did we get a release date for Fable?
I think they said later. I think they said 2024, but I don't think there was an exact date.
It's dropping this year?
I think that's what it said at the end. Oh, no, coming 2025 is what it said. So it's still not coming this year.
Okay, it's coming out next year, though. Awesome.
I can't remember if they said a release date for Indiana Jones either. It just said 2024. Yeah. Did Perfect Dark? I honestly don't remember.
Based around the turmoil and development, what was behind the scenes. With no window given, we speculated it won't be ready until 2026 at the earliest. I mean, that was gameplay that we saw, right? So it's like...
You'd think it'd be close. You think they'd be really close?
You would think it's ready for like at least the next year or two. I don't know, man. That's why it's like I thought it was exciting. For a lot of these games, we've either seen them before though, and it's like, or we don't have like a good release date for them.
Yeah, it's like how can I get excited for something I don't even know it's gonna be there in like a year. All I know is that there was no Silk Song. Aww. No Silk Song. No Silk Song and no Kingdom Hearts 4 yet, despite the Kingdom Hearts games coming out literally tomorrow on Steam. Whatever.
And is Silk Song ever going to come out? What's the status of that game?
I have no idea. I dearly God hope so. It is. I'm gonna pray. God, I'm just like looking at like the Star Wars Outlaws stuff or whatever because I don't care about that game.
Mm-hmm. Does it look okay?
I mean,
I personally couldn't give less of a fuck about...
I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of where I'm at, too. It's like, I don't really give a shit. But it's like, I'm just curious. Like, my curiosity is getting me. Like, I'm just looking at this space. Like, there's, like, this part in the trailer, or, like, during, like, the Ubisoft Forward stuff, where it's just like, oh, here's some space stuff or whatever. All right, defend your ship. It looks like I'm, like, somebody played Everspace or whatever, and just, like, that's the space combat. This is not bad. I like that space combat. I thought it was actually pretty good. But, like, really? And then it's basically just, like, stealth missions. You know, what Ubisoft's known for with...
Assassin's Creed
and stuff.
Okay, well, that's fun.
Yeah, that's all right. I wasn't gonna get the game anyway, but it's just like, no, I was like, I mean, granted, after like the whole, a certain, you have to pay for like the bigger edition to get the Jabba the Hutt fucking missions
or
whatever, and I was like, oh, so you're not even gonna give us the whole game unless we pay more? Well, that's great.
I definitely want to play your video game.
Definitely do want to play that. Definitely don't.
It's Star Wars, so some people are going to just eat that shit up, though.
Oh, I know. All right, time to watch the Skull and Bones stuff and see how bad it looks.
It's Skull and Bones. Like they did a whole thing. It's like, oh, our water looks so fucking good, or whatever.
Oh man, look at that new ship. Look at that, or whatever. It's so cool and everything like that. Summer events. Whoa, boat racing. Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, no one gives a single fuck.
Cosmetics.
I hate to keep ragging on Skull and Bones though, but it's like we just got another. One of the things that was announced at like the Xbox showcase is that we're getting another season for Sea of Thieves, and it's like, okay, are we really flexing on Skull and Bones that hard? This
Yes.
game already has so much more than than Skull and Bones could ever hope to. It is in a league of its own, basically. The one game that people thought was going to be able to compete with it is just crashing and burning like there's no tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I have absolutely no idea why Ubisoft's still putting any stake in that thing. That is what's throwing me for a loop right now.
But wait, we gotta also show off X Defiant Season 1. While we're supporting our online game that people say is actually like halfway decent. Whoa, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
I don't know. I still haven't tried X Defiant myself yet. I'll hopefully try and get into a game of it tonight.
I was like, let's take a look at this Assassin's Creed Shadow stuff or whatever, and I was like, that's the fucking like music or whatever that they were doing with it. I saw a gameplay thing earlier. I don't know where it was. But
It's Assassin's Creed.
I mean, it's Assassin's Creed. I assumed it all looked the same.
It's like cool. It's set in feudal Japan. There are two different characters that you can play as.
Yep.
It's still just an Assassin's Creed game.
It's still just Assassin's Creed. And for a lot of people, Assassin's Creed kind of fell off really hard after Valhalla.
This is gonna bring some people back though because it's feudal Japan.
I know, and people will probably try it. It might be halfway decent, but it's just I just go like, I don't care. I haven't cared in a while.
So Ubisoft Forward, what are you giving it out of 10?
4? I don't know. It was updates to a lot of games that nobody really cares for. Like I saw there was like Avatar, there was Skull and Bones and everything like that, and I was like, oh, the Star Wars Outlaws or whatever is the big one, and I go, whatever.
We're getting content updates for Avatar of all things. Why?
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Like I've seen gameplay snippets and stuff like that of Star Wars Outlaws, and it's like it looks fine, man. You know, it looks okay. It plays a smuggler in Star Wars. You have your own ship, big open world with, I'm guessing, like different facilities you need to take down.
It's just like, how will this be different from like every other like open world game that Ubisoft makes?
It probably won't be.
Exactly.
It has a Star Wars coat of paint on it. It's like, that's it.
Do you know what I'm?
Cool.
Do you know what I'm honestly surprised wasn't in any of the showcases that I saw though? That I mean, granted, it only comes out next week or something like that. Is the Shadow of the Erdtree for Elden Ring?
Oh,
like I'm pretty sure that DLC comes out in like a week or something like that. It's like lands June 21st, which is not this Friday, but the next coming Friday.
I mean, I understand why I wasn't there. To get like a 2-minute spot at Summer Games Fest, doesn't it cost like $250,000 basically?
Yeah, that's true. They already showed it off anyway.
I can see it from their perspective. It's like, well, we've already shown it off. Everyone that wants the DLC is probably gonna buy it already. Why spend the money? Like, I'm sure Jeff Nutley would like that game to be at would have liked that game to be at Summer Games Fest, but
yeah,
you know, if you're going to charge from soft $250,000 to show up, it's a lot easier from their perspective to just not show.
Pretty much, yeah, and it's just like, oh, everyone already knows it comes out anyway. There's already a big enough audience that keeps it going on like all social medias. Like, people are already super excited for it, so why bother?
Did Nintendo show off anything? I know they weren't at Summer Games Fest.
Pretty
but
sure
did they
Nintendo
have
didn't
their
do
own-
anything.
Yeah.
It's like the most Nintendo thing I've heard. It's like, oh, they
They'll
didn't do
have a-
anything while everyone else was busy releasing stuff? Nah, they're Nintendo. They don't care.
They'll have a showcase at, well, like, whenever the fuck they feel like it.
In like a
It'll just
month,
be
a month or something.
It'll just be like a random day in like August or September, and they'll be, oh yeah, here's the Switch 2 presentation. Comes out this year.
Yeah, it comes out in like 2 months or whatever for the Switch 2, and I go, what?
I swear, I'm just gonna wake up some morning, log on to Twitter, and just see article after article being like, Nintendo announced the second Switch announcement games, blah blah blah.
They did the thing.
Just basically.
God, I forgot there was a Arcane trailer for season 2, and I was just like, it looks like what you'd expect it to do. And apparently, it's going to be the final season for that
Its second season.
second season. Apparently, it'll be the end of this tale between like Vi and Jinx and everything.
Okay.
And then, but apparently they have more stories to tell. AKA, they'll probably just do the same thing with like other characters. If I had to take a guess.
All right. That's neat.
I mean, granted, how long has it been? It's been like what, 5 years almost since Arcane season 1.
I mean, I don't think it's been that long. Like,
It's
I think it's only
probably
been like
close.
2 or 3 years.
It's 2021, so 3 years.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It was late 2021 too.
It felt so much longer. I don't know why. Whatever.
Maybe it's because it just kind of feels like old news at this point.
I don't know, came and went type thing.
Are they really starting an Among Us television series?
Yep.
It's like, how the fuck do you even...
You make it like a cartoon show or whatever, and you just yell sus
What's-
sus. He's venting.
they're gonna do that for what, like 15-minute episodes? They're just gonna make age-old jokes from a game that was popular during the pandemic?
Yeah, pretty much.
What kind of player base does Among Us still have nowadays?
I don't know. I don't really care to know at this point. Who really cares?
Like, is it really that popular that they figure that they ought to...
I mean, I feel like this is something that has been in the works for like a couple years now, and it's just like,
And they just didn't figure the game would fall off at all? The game has less than 4,000 players.
I just like how I stumbled upon a Kotaku article that says, "Oh, the first clip for the Borderlands movie looks like it's from an SNL clip," and I can honestly say with 100% certainty, it does.
Yep, it does.
It really does.
I'll never understand why they didn't go the,
Dude,
animated
there was
movie route.
so much they could have done with that with the Borderlands movie. If I go to this movie and I say it's actually not half bad, I will count that as a win at this point. Looking at this shit, I don't think I'm gonna either.
No.
I'm gonna walk out of that going like, I feel like I just wasted like however long it is, basically like 2 hours long, 1 hour, 1.5 or whatever.
I just can't believe it's coming out at all.
Like you had the ability to do something really cool, and they just decided, no, we're gonna get all the big like actors and everything like that, the people that they don't care to or whatever, and we're just gonna basically make it a comedy rather than, just sneak in like witty banter like you have in like most of the other games. And
I mean, there's a lot of comedy stuff within Borderlands, but
yes, but it's not all of it.
no, it's like to make Roland or whatever, like played by Kevin Hart, just seems
God, that was the dumbest move.
wildly out of place. And again, I just don't get why they wouldn't go for the animated movie route. It feels like they have the resources to do that too.
Either go the animated movie route or just like, I don't know, just scrap this whole project and do it right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still saying, it's like, why did the hell did you have Jack Black playing Claptrap? I get it's because he's like, oh, he's the big time voice actor right now because like with like Poe and everything like that. But I sat there going just like, but he literally fits, like his whole look and everything like that would have been a perfect Marcus Munitions and everything like that, and he could have just narrated the whole thing.
He could have done that, and like they already have a voice actor for Claptrap.
Exactly. I mean that's Jack, and then you can just have him as that, and I'm just going like, and I go, the fact is that the opening of the movie, if the opening of the movie doesn't start with like Marcus Munitions going like, let me tell you a story, and I'm like, all right, this is already, like, if it starts with that, great. If it doesn't, I'm already like, nope, I don't care. I just don't care. Because like every Borderlands game has started like that.
Mm-hmm. When is that supposed to come out? Is it this year?
I think it's supposed to be sometime this year. Oh, it's in August 9th. Ugh.
That's fun.
I like how even in this Kotaku article, it literally just talks about how every one of the characters, like every one of the actors that portray each of the characters, are just not right for the job. The only one is probably Krieg, because he just looks like the character of Krieg from Borderlands 2. But again, why is it Krieg? Why is it not Brick?
I don't know, man.
Like, I'm just... David Bautista would have been perfect for Brick. It's like, he's made for it, man. It looks exactly like it. You could have had The Rock play fucking Roland or something like that. Or, I don't know, like, anything like that. You could have had... Fuck, I don't know. Anyone but Cate Blanchett play Lilith. And maybe let's not make Tannis like a 60-year-old woman. With Jamie Lee Curtis. Mainly because she's not actually that old in the games.
No, she's not. Did you hear they're making a live-action Yakuza movie?
I did. Is it a movie or is it a show?
It's a movie, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that'd be cool, I guess.
Wait, that already exists somewhere?
I'm sure it does. But it's like, it's being made by like
Amazon,
Amazon,
it's a series,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I thought they were just like, all right, now let's go off of the Fallout series with like Yakuza. And I'm just like, all right, cool, I guess.
I mean, they're actually using, Japanese voice actors, which is good.
Yeah, it's good. In unrelated game talk or whatever in sports, I wanted to just highlight real fast. Yeah. So Lakers are looking for a new coach because they just fired their coach, DeMar Hamlin. Mm-hmm. DeMar Hamlin, that's a different guy. Wow, why can't I remember his name? Because he was the former Bucks, now current Bucks assistant coach. DeMar Ham, that was his name. After 2 years, because the team sucks and they still bend to the will of LeBron James, rather than actually listening to a coach that actually wants to make the team good, type thing, and actually build a good team. But we're the Lakers. What do we care, right? Anyway, so they're looking for a new coach this year, and so they're trying to find a new coach before the finals are even up. And their two current ones are Kendrick Perkins, who's never coached a day in his life when it comes to basketball or anything like that. He is a ESPN analyst for NBA and everything like that.
Oh, they're going to Packers route.
No okay. coaching experience, no nothing or anything like that. But you want to know why they're saying it's like, oh, we can go with him.
Why?
Because he has a podcast with LeBron James. It's not Kendrick Perkins. It was actually what was his name?
So
like JJ Redick.
Bro.
JJ Redick. That's what I was thinking of.
Like, actually?
I mean, So here's the thing: they originally were going to go for him. That was a report. That was what reports said. They've now moved on to Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley is the current college basketball coach for the UConn Huskies. UConn Huskies have won 2 back-to-back NCAA championships under this guy. Okay? Super qualified and everything like that. He goes to meet with the Lakers a couple days ago. Lakers offer him a 6-year, $70 million contract. Right now he's currently getting like $32 million from UConn or whatever. So it's like more than double what he's getting paid.
Crazy. Okay.
More than double what he's getting paid. He turned it down. Want to know why?
Why?
For all the reasons I listed before this.
Because doesn't want to work with LeBron James.
Because he knows. Because basically he knows that basically as long as LeBron's there, or I mean, granted, anyone that steps into that Lakers job is basically going to be under heavy scrutiny. They're going to want to. You're going to want to make AD or LeBron if he's still there. The thing is that LeBron wants to play with his son. His son's entering the NBA draft this year. So knowing the Lakers want to keep around LeBron James, they'll probably try and draft Bronny James. He's not. I'm not saying he doesn't have the potential. He just didn't show it. I mean, granted, he was also coming off a medical emergency basically last year. So I assume that probably took a while for him to get over. Fact is, he entered the draft, though. It's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Play another year in college. It's like you're gonna get drafted to an NBA team. You're gonna get drafted to an NBA team on namesake alone. Pretty much. And it's just like, and Dan Hurley looks at that.
I'm willing to bet that's what he's counting on too. He already knows like the Lakers are going to pick him up because his dad plays for the Lakers.
Exactly, and if you're Dan Hurley and you see this coming and you're like, well, why would I rather go play for the Lakers, where the Lakers are going to draft or have no future because they have no future draft picks basically, like within the next like 5 years or something like that. They have no draft picks in the first round or anything like that. They have no future when it comes to younger talent. They have a core that's only gets that is to the point where they're past their prime and don't do well. They're lucky to even make a play-in every year going forth. This is the organization that is currently at this very moment tied for the most NBA Finals wins in NBA history. They're up there with the Celtics. Now the Celtics, if they win this year, will surpass the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And right now, they're content with being a play-in team, a.k.a. they have to work to get into the playoffs, rather than just being a top spot. Because they would rather just sell tickets to the games. That's it, and publicity. That's it.
I mean, they're the Lakers. They have LeBron James, so I kind of get that.
Why would a well-accomplished coach in Dan Hurley ever want to step into that bullshit?
He won, absolutely.
Exactly.
It would ruin his reputation.
And that's exactly why he decided, nope, I'm sticking at UConn. I have basically like a dynasty in the works right now with UConn. Mm-hmm. And like we came off of 2 dominant years in NCAA tournament, and I'm sitting here going just like, I'm just going to stick right where I am because this is way better for my career. It's like, I don't know who the hell the Lakers are going to get to coach their team. If I was a coach, if I was a halfway decent coach or whatever, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, dude.
Probably going to get the
is a shit show. He'll probably get JJ Redick. And it will be a shit show.
It will be a shit show. It's going to be fucking funny, but it's going to be a shit show.
Oh, it's going to be so funny, but it's just like, man, it's like, because like I can already see it now. The draft comes around, first round pick, Bronny James, even though he wasn't a lottery pick, but they'll make him a lottery pick because of that. And I go, holy shit.
Is he any good in the games that he's been playing?
He put up very subpar numbers in his first year in college, and like I said, he was coming off of a pretty big medical emergency, like that happened before the season started. Mm-hmm. Could have played a factor in it. didn't really show a whole lot that he has the potential to play in the NBA, yet still went just because of namesake and like the idea that he and his dad could be the first like father-son duo in NBA history. And I go, so you're going for short-term gains, knowing that your name will carry you more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'll develop. And I go, when the hell was the last time anyone developed? Like, there are
In
very
the NBA.
there are very few players that have like slowly gotten better in time. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but it's just the track record is not quite there. The last one I can honestly say that just got better and better and better as the years went on was Giannis Antetokounmpo. But that was because he put in the time, he put in the effort, and just bulked the hell up. Like, he already had the skill, he just didn't have like the muscle or like and like stamina that he does now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's why it's so hard to play against him. It's just like it's like he had the skill before, just not quite there physically. And then he got there physically, and now he's a force to be reckoned with.
You know, typically you want to be at the top of your game once you go into pro sports.
That's what I'm saying. It's like he if he wanted to not be at USC, fine, enter the transfer portal like a lot of other players are doing right now. Go to some other team or whatever. I guarantee you some other coach will want to pick you up for the idea that, oh, it's LeBron James' son, so like we'll get more viewership or anything like that from like big media outlets, as well as maybe he'll turn out to be good, and then he'll go to the draft, and then it's like, oh, I coached Bronny James when he was that or whatever, and it's like, no, I just gonna do that. And I go, it's not your smartest move of all time.
Yeah, no. Especially when you're new to the NBA, you want a coach that can properly, coach you and lead you onto a path where you'll eventually get better.
It's
and
like
then maybe later transfer to your dad's team or whatever. It's
like I could be wrong, but like as of right now, I don't think I am.
No. You're really not.
That's why the only reason people will pick up Bronny James is because that way they'll know that like LeBron will want to sign with them. We'll just use that as leverage over him, because it's like I don't think LeBron will play more than maybe like 2 more years.
No.
He'll probably retire in that time. I mean, he's like what, 39? I want to say. I think he's gonna be turning 40 before the next NBA season. Yeah.
He's kind of out the door, basically. And despite all that, that's why I think like the Lakers are going to try as hard as they can to pick up Bronny James. It's because they want to be the team that does that.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they want to keep him around, and then potentially on the off chance that he actually does turn out to be like a superstar or even like a halfway decent player.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, at least we got like a halfway decent player or that, and then, we're the Lakers, we'll just buy every other player otherwise.
The heck are they gonna do once, LeBron leaves? Though
Suck. I don't know. Probably try and trade AD for some first round draft picks if they can even do that. Because it's like AD's still a really, really good big guy or whatever when he's healthy. Last year he managed to stay pretty much healthy, so that was good for him. Whereas in past years he was very injury prone. So it's just like when he's on the court, oftentimes he's being impactful, but you got to be on the court. I mean, it's the same thing how I look at like it's the same thing with kind of the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors are in. It's like you're having Klay Thompson come off his worst year of his career. He's coming off of his contract. The Warriors are probably not going to sign him. I don't think any team is going to sign him. Maybe on the off chance he can turn it around, but I was like, the guy's coming off the worst shooting numbers of his career. And he's like, I think he's like 34 or something like that. So it's just like, you're getting that point where it's like, especially when you're coming off of years like that, you're probably about done. And I doubt any team really picks you up. And it's like, I was like, Draymond's not doing much better or whatever. I'm going to guess he probably retires maybe this year or next year, and he'll join probably some analyst team or whatever. I was like, he was already on like the TNT team doing like playoff games or whatever, and I was just like, okay. So it's like clearly that's where he wants to go with it after he's done playing NBA. And it's like Curry's still, kicking it, but it's like he's also getting to the point where it's like I don't know how many more years he's gotten him. It's not like the Warriors are going to give him up though. I mean, he'll probably retire a Golden State Warrior if I had to take a guess.
Yeah.
But it's like the Warriors don't have that much talent in and of a nutshell either. They have a very short bench. So they'll probably just fade to obscurity until they can get another, like, I don't know, try and get like a high draft pick or something like that. I mean, granted, with the way the lottery goes, the worst team apparently gets to pick 5th in the thing, because the Detroit Pistons didn't get the number 1 overall pick. They got the 5th pick in the draft or whatever, despite having a 33% chance to get the number 1 overall, and got very unlucky.
Jeez.
Yeah, they got very unlucky when it comes to that, and are not happy about it. Rightfully so.
No, I can't imagine they would be.
Rightfully so. Now, granted, if there was ever a year that you wanted to have a lower draft pick when it comes to the high draft picks, it's like this is probably the year. It's not a super deep pool of players to think about, and it's definitely an off year. Like another year or two, I think you'd have a lot of players that were worth picking up. I mean, not saying there aren't this year. There are some very good ones, but it's like I'm really concerned that the Bucks are going to pick up Zach Edey, and I'm like, man, they do need a big guy, but don't pick up Zach Edey. I'm sorry. He's just
but why?
He's 7 feet tall. He's 7'4", but he has no feel. He has no skill for the game. His footwork is atrocious. He barely plays defense. He doesn't rebound and has a hook shot. Hook shots don't work in the NBA, as you're going to find. You don't play isolation basketball in the NBA. It's like, if you want to take him as a curiosity and slap him in the G League, or in the Summer League in the G League, and see if he maybe turns out good, sure. I don't foresee that happening, though.
Sorry.
But to each their own. When it's not that deep, I guess that's kind of what you got to go for. I'd rather go for that UConn big guy with that Klingon or whatever. He looked way better than Edey does. But hell, what do I know?
I mean, I think he still has potential.
Yeah, some team will give him an opportunity to see what he can do. But I just, despite being everyone's favorite, it's he's going to be the Heisman winner or whatever, in college or whatever. It's it's just that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a good player in the NBA. It means you have that you were good in college doesn't mean you're good in the NBA. No. NBA is a whole different thing.
Might mean someone's going to pick you up, but you got to prove yourself once you're there, though.
Oh, yeah.
And like you say, you can't just play isolation basketball in the NBA.
Oh, absolutely not. It's as much as you'll see sometimes teams do that, it's still not a good idea.
No.
I just thought it was very funny, though, that Dan Hurley turned down the Lakers thing, and I go, you're the Lakers, man. You should be able to get anyone you want. Oh, wait, because you've been such a garbage franchise for so many years now. Nobody takes you seriously now.
Yeah.
Your serious candidates don't want to touch you. You're better, and you're stuck with getting JJ Redick as your coach. Guy who's never coached a day in his life. So yeah, go for that, and then in 2 years, when that goes down the tube or whatever, then you can just blame it all on him, because that's what will happen. It will.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for watching or listening to this episode of It Never Ends, and be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast or anything like that. Follow me or my co-host over there at YouTube's or Twitch or anything like that. All the links are in the description below. And I think we'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Deuces.